Hello. Tonight, as Freshers' Week begins for many new students, the mother of one who took her own life has told us universities need to be forced to do more to support those struggling with their mental health. It comes as a record 1.4 million young people sought help from the NHS for their mental health last year. Also last year, a survey of university students found 57% were experiencing problems. And now a study released this week suggests just over half of students are worried about being lonely when they start university. Hilary Grime from Cranbrook, whose daughter Phoebe died in 2021, told us the situation is desperate and needs urgent attention. Nick Johnson has our report.
I don't have any wishes to be me, 'cause I'm actually happy in life.
Phoebe Grime, celebrating her 18th birthday. 2 years later, in 2021, Phoebe had killed herself while studying at university in Newcastle.
Lockdown happened and she was stuck in a room in a house with some flatmates that weren't like-minded, so she was very lonely and very unhappy, and her father was diagnosed with terminal cancer in April, and it was all too much for her.
Freshers' Week at the University of Greenwich's campus in Medway. A recent poll by YouGov showed loneliness was among the top concerns for new students.
I was worried about maybe making friends, settling in, all that kind of thing, but no, it's definitely all the opportunities here with the Freshers' Week. I'm definitely making lots of new friends.
I literally just met Lindsay yesterday. I'm hanging out now, so yeah, it's good.
The university is now offering courses to help freshers with the transition into student life.
What we are seeing now is the students that have just come out of the COVID years, so this is a key social development time for students, and we're finding that they haven't had that social interaction.
Do you think you're getting enough support from the government?
I think we could always do with more help from the government in terms of funding those sorts of interventions.
Nefeli is a current student who's used the university's wellbeing service, but is also studying psychology and counselling.
There are a lot of students that have no idea that this is offered by the university. They also provide guidance on how to approach the NHS as well, if they feel like they cannot offer the maximum of help that a student needs.
With the preceding years of COVID lockdowns and with the ongoing cost of living crisis, it is a tough time to be a student. Universities such as this do have a duty of care towards the physical and mental well-being of their students, but that's not underpinned by law.
While we don't oversee universities in the same ways we do as school and colleges, we very much recognise that they're a part of the experience of young people that they often struggle with in terms of their mental health.
Earlier this year, Hilary Grime was among a group of parents who delivered a petition to Downing Street, calling for universities to have a legal duty of care toward their students.
Why should students in higher education not be covered like everybody else is in employment law and the staff at the university? And universities need to be accountable.
Well, Nick, that was Hilary Grime ending that report, and we can speak to Nick now. And Nick, I know you've spent the day at the Medway campus at the University of Greenwich, where, from what we saw, it does seem that they are taking the issue of mental health support seriously.
Yeah, there's been a real push here at the University of Greenwich in Medway to ensure that student mental health is a priority here in Freshers' Week for every single student, but especially those who are new to university of life, many of whom will have spent their teenage years in lockdown. Now, you heard Hilary Grime in that report. She criticised the government for not underpinning student mental health with a legal duty of care. But back in June, we heard from an education minister who said that every university in England should prioritise student mental health. But he said at this stage, new legislation is not the way forward.